Hi students, welcome back to the new session. In the last session we have learnt about which factors influencing the ionization potential values. Which factors influencing the ionization potential values? I was explained that the first factor is atomic radius and second factor is effective nuclear charge. What is the relation between the atomic radius and ionization potential? Atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization potential values. Whenever atomic radius is increases, obviously ionization potential values are decreases, and as well as effective nuclear charge. And another important factor, effective nuclear charge, is directly proportional to which one? Ionization potential values. Whenever effective nuclear charges increases, ionization potential values also increases. And another important factor which is influencing the ionization potential values, that is shielding effect or screening effect. It is very important. Shielding effect and screening effect. What I am saying that one here, what is shielding effect? Inner electrons protects the outermost electron against the nuclear force of attraction, that is called shielding effect. Generally shielding effect is increases. What it will be increases? Atomic radius values are increases. But we know that atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy or ionization potential. So shielding effect increases, atomic radius is increases, but atomic radius is increases, IE is decreases. So obviously the relationship between the shielding effect and ionization energy is both are inversely proportional with each other. Ionization energy or ionization potential, whatever it may be, both will be correct. So whenever shielding effect is increases, ionization energy is decreases. Have you catch my point? So due to the reason shielding effect increases, how can you understand this? Inner electrons and outermost electron in between repulsions are develops. When the repulsions develops between the inner electrons and outermost electron, due to that repulsions, what will happens? Distance increases. Distance increases, atomic radius increases. Whenever atomic radius increases, the outermost electron is loosely bounded. That means the net attraction on the outermost electron is very less. So that outermost electron is loosely bounded. When the electron is loosely bounded, by using a little amount of energy is enough to remove that electron. So here we supplied very little quantity or very little amount or very small quantity of energy to removing the electron. So ionization energy is less. When the electron is loosely bounded, ionization energy is less because we are supplying very little amount of or small quantity of energy to remove that electron. That's why ionization energy is less. Whenever shielding effect is more, ionization energy is less. For suppose we should imagine that shielding effect is decreases. Shielding effect is decreases. What will happens? Both are inversely proportional with each other. That means one variable increases, other variable will be decreases. So shielding effect decreases, one variable decreases. That's why ionization energy must be, what will happens here? Increases. Why it is increases? Shielding effect means poor shielding effect. Shielding effect decreases means that is indicates poor shielding effect. That means inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron. Whenever inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron, that outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. When the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus, the net attraction on the outermost electron is more. That means we can understand that very easily what it is. That electron is tightly bounded due to the attraction is more. When the electron is tightly bounded, removing of electron is difficult from the valence shell. That outermost electron removing is very difficult from the valence shell. That's why we must be supplied large quantity of energy to remove that electron. So when we are supplying large quantity of energy or more amount of energy is required to remove that electron, ionization energy is more, because here the outermost electron, the residing electron which is present in their valence shell, that electron is tightly bounded. Whenever electron is tightly bounded, electron removing is difficult. So whenever electron removing is difficult, supplying of external energy is more. So ionization energy is obviously more. So whenever shielding effect decreases, that indicates poor shielding effect, ionization energy is increases. That is the relation. This is not the formula, don't forget that one. For your sake I have written like that. shielding effect and ionization potential both are inversely proportional with each other. Whenever inversely proportional will be there, one variable is increases. For suppose shielding effect is increases, so obviously ionization potential is decreases. As well as shielding effect decreases, obviously ionization potential is increases. I hope that you are very clear in this concept. After that, generally we know that orbitals, s orbital, p orbital, d orbital and f orbital. Generally s orbital is very near to nucleus. Am I correct or not? Have a look at that. I will explain here. This is first orbit. For suppose this is first orbit. This is second orbit. This is third orbit. This is fourth orbit. In the s subshell starts from which orbit? S subshell is, or s orbital starts from first orbit. P subshell starts from second orbit. D subshell or d orbital starts from third orbit. F orbital starts from fourth orbit. So which is very near to nucleus here? Have a look at that diagram. We know that which is very near to nucleus. S orbital is very near to nucleus. When the s orbital is very near to nucleus, s orbital containing electron is tightly bounded because it is very near to nucleus, because that is present in the s orbital. So when the electron present in the s orbital, the electron which is very near to nucleus, so net attraction on the outermost electron is increases in the s orbital. So that's why electron is tightly bounded. We know that electron whenever tightly bounded, removing of electron is difficult. So we must be given more amount of energy to remove that electron, because ionization energy means energy is required to remove that electron. But here giving energy is very more. That's why ionization energy is very more. In the case of which one? S orbital. So s orbital is very near to nucleus or very closer to nucleus. So whenever it is more closer to nucleus, obviously that electron is tightly bounded due to the more attraction on that electron. So when the attraction is more, electron is tightly bounded, we know that removing of electron is difficult, so we must be supplied more amount of energy. So ionization energy is more. So whenever if you take s orbital, p orbital, d orbital and f orbital, s orbital is very near to nucleus, so which is very near to nucleus, when it will be there, ionization energy is more. But far away from the nucleus, s orbital is present in first orbit, p orbital is present in second orbit, d orbital is present in third orbit, f orbital is present in fourth orbit. So far away from the nucleus, what will happen here? Distance is increases. So in the case of size of the orbitals, it is also area of the orbitals. If you take that one, which is larger in size, we know that generally d and f orbitals are bulky orbitals. Generally they are having which nature? Diffused nature. Whenever they are having diffused nature, it shows which effect? Poor shielding effect. That means shielding effect is decreases. How can you understand that? Inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron. Whenever inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron, the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. That means the net attraction on the outermost electron is more. So whenever net attraction on the outermost electron is more, the outermost electron is tightly bounded. So the tightly bounded electron removing is very difficult from their valence shell. So we must be give more amount of energy to remove that electron. So that's why ionization energy is increases. Once again, whenever poor shielding effect will be there, net attraction on the outermost electron, what will happen? Increases. The inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron, so the net attraction on the outermost electron is more. When the net attraction on the outermost electron is more, distance is decreases. When the distance is decreases, atomic radius is decreases. But we know that atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy. Am I correct or not? So whenever atomic radius is decreases, obviously what will be increases? Whenever inversely proportional will be there, one variable decreases, obviously other variable will be increases. So atomic radius decreases, ionization energy is increases. I hope that you are very clear here. So whenever size of the orbitals increases, especially in the case of d and f orbitals, they are having diffusion nature. Whenever diffusion nature will be there, due to their size, bulkiness, they will show poor shielding effect. What is the poor shielding effect? Inner electrons does not protect the outermost electron. Whenever inner electron does not protect the outermost electron, the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. That is the poor shielding effect. So whenever attraction is more on the outermost electron, the outermost electron is tightly bounded. So removing of electron is difficult. So we must be supplied more amount of energy to remove that electron. So ionization energy is obviously more. Okay, we will go to another slide. Hence, just now I have explained this. Whenever shielding effect decreases, that means poor shielding effect, net attraction on the outermost electron is increases. Attraction increases, distance decreases. Distance decreases, radius decreases. Atom radius is decreases. Atomic radius and ionization energy both are inversely proportional with each other. That's why atomic radius is decreases, ionization energy is increases. So ionization energy increases, shielding effect is decreases, because shielding effect and ionization energy both are inversely proportional with each other. Ionization energy, shielding effect both are inversely proportional with each other. Here E, what happens here? Increases. That's why shielding effect is decreases. So that is the shielding effect decreases indicates poor shielding effect. Have you understood, students? Good. After that, another important factor which is influencing the ionization potential values. Which one that is? Stability of half-filled and full-filled structure. Stability of half-filled and full-filled structure. Generally we know that what is half-filled and full-filled structures. I had already explained in the periodic classification topic. Here, generally S is having full-filled means how many electrons are there? Whenever S is fully filled, how many electrons are there? Fully filled means how many electrons? 2 electrons. Half filled means S containing how many electrons? Yes, 1 electron. So S, whenever it is having 2 electrons, that is fully filled. For suppose S orbital containing or S subshell containing 1 electron, that is half filled. So S containing maybe 2 electrons, it is more stable. If S containing 1 electron is more stable. According to Hund's rule, half filled electrons, half filled orbitals or full filled orbitals, or half filled structures or full filled structures are more stable. That's why S may be contain 2 electrons, it is more stable. S may be contain 1 electron, it is also more stable. According to Hund's rule, half filled and full filled orbitals are more stable. For suppose P containing 6 electrons, more stable, because P is made up of 3 orbitals. Fully filled means what is? This is fully filled, 6 electrons. Half filled means 3 electrons. So whenever P is fully filled, that means it containing 6 electrons. Half filled, it contains 3 electrons. P is more stable. So that's why here what I am saying, that P is maximum capacity how much? The maximum number of electron P is 6. Maybe P containing 1 electron possible, P containing 2 electron possible, P containing 3 electron possible, P containing 4 electron possible, 5 possible, 6 possible. But where the P is more stable? Yes, half filled, P containing 3 electrons, P containing 6 electron. In these two cases, more stable. Half filled orbitals, full filled orbitals are more stable according to Hund's rule. So the stability of half filled and full filled structures, how these structures influencing the atomic radius, ionization potential values. How to influence the ionization potential values? Which factor? Half filled and full filled structures. Okay, look at that. Half filled and full filled structure. Which one? Stability of half filled and full filled structure. Whenever stability will be there, whenever more stable will be there, how can we understand that element electron donating tendency is low? So that element is not capable to donating electron easily. That is the meaning of here stability more. So electron donating or giving tendency is low. Then what happens? Electron removing is difficult. So when the electron can be easily removed, ionization energy is less. But here what will happen? Due to that more stability of half-filled and full-filled orbitals, they are not capable to lose the electrons. They are not capable to giving the electron. That's why electron giving tendency or donating tendency is low. That means electron removing is difficult. When the electron removing is difficult, that means that electron is tightly bounded. So ionization energy is more. When the electron is tightly bounded, removing of electron is difficult, so we must be supplied more quantity or more amount of energy is required to remove that electron. So more energy we have to require. That's why ionization energy is more. In the case of which one? Half-filled and full-filled. That's why half-filled and full-filled orbitals are having more ionization potential, or ionization half-filled and full-filled orbitals are having more ionization energy. That's why P3, P6 is more stable. S orbital containing 1 electron or 2 electron is more stable. D half filled means how much? D containing 5 electrons, it is more stable. D fully filled means 10 electrons is more stable. According to Hund's rule, half filled and full filled orbitals are more stable. When the half filled and full filled orbitals are more stable, they are having more ionization energy. F containing half filled means how much? 7 electrons. F containing 14 electrons also more stable, because F containing 7 electrons, that is half filled. That is half filled structure or half filled orbital. F14, F is completely filled. That's why this is a fully filled structure. So half filled structure will be there, full filled structure will be there. Corresponding orbitals, they are generally more stable. Whenever more stable will be there, that element's electron donating tendency is low, electron giving tendency is low. That means how can we understand? Electron removing is difficult. That means electron is tightly bounded. The outermost shell, that electron is tightly bounded. So tightly bounded, whenever electron is tightly bounded, removing of electron is difficult. What I'm saying, that one, removing of electron whenever it is difficult, the ionization energy obviously more increases. Upward arrow, whenever I will put that one, you can able to understand, increases. Okay students, are you clear so far? After that I will take here few examples for your sake. First of all, stability order, if you take that one, because whenever more stability will be there, that configuration should have more ionization potential. We know that ionization energy is more. So which is more stable structure? NS2, here I have taken NS2, here NS2, NP1. S containing here 2 electrons, P containing how many electrons? 1 electron. So this is P. P is made up of 3 orbitals. Only 1 electron will be there. Have a look at that one here. Here S containing, S is made up of 1 orbital. How many electrons are there? 2 electrons. We know that S half filled means 1 electron. S full filled means 2 electrons. This is fully filled. 2 electron means 1 electron means half filled. P containing half filled means 3 electrons. Fully filled means 6 electrons. We know that. So maybe P containing 3 electrons is more stable, because half filled structure is more stable. P containing 6 electrons is more stable. But here P, how many electrons are there? 1 electron is present in it. Okay, leave it. If you observe in the left hand side, NS2 will be given. Am I correct or not? Here S containing how many electrons? 2 electrons. I had already told you what it is. S containing either 1 electron is more stable, 2 electron is more stable. Here S containing how many electrons? 2 electrons. Am I correct or not? So here S orbital containing 2 electrons means this is what is fully filled structure. P containing only 1 electron, that is not a stable structure, either half filled or full filled. Maybe here P containing 3 electron, it is more stable. P containing 3 electrons, it is more stable. But in the given example, I have taken only 1 electron, which is present in the P subshell. But in the S orbital, in the left hand side, if you take that one, fully filled, because S orbital containing 2 electrons. S is maximum number of electrons present in it, only 2 electrons. That's why it is more stable. So whenever fully filled orbital will be there, it is having more ionization potential. Due to the reason, whenever half filled and full filled structures will be there, according to Hund's rule, that is more stable. That's why here what happens? S is fully filled. So whenever S is fully filled, it is more stable. When it is having more stable, it is more ionization potential. Which one? S orbital. So that's why ns2 is greater than ns2 np1. Look at that. Another example, second example, have you look at that? Just a minute, I wipe out this one. Okay. If you take second example, this is np3, this is np4. Here p containing how many electrons? 3 electrons. That means px, py, pz, like this. P is having 3 electrons. Here p containing how many electrons? 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I am saying here, either p containing half filled means 3, full filled means 6. Either half filled and full filled structures are more stable. Which is more stable? That is having more IP, ionization potential. So either p containing 3 electrons, more ionization potential value is present in it, or p containing 6 electrons, more ionization potential value is present in it. But have a look at that. Here p containing in this case 4 electrons, here p containing 3 electrons. In which case has satisfied the Hund's rule? Which case has satisfied the Hund's rule? P3, because half filled structure is more stable. That's why np3 is greater than np4. np3 is half filled structure. That's why np3 is having more ionization potential values. Due to the half filled orbitals are more stable, they are having more ionization potential values. After the third example, have a look at the third example. P6 will be there, P5 will be there. I had already given example here. P containing 3 electrons, P containing 6 electrons. P containing 3 means it is half filled structure. P containing 6 electron, fully filled structure. So half filled structure or full filled structures regarding to p orbital, that is more stable. When it is more stable, obviously that is having more ionization potential values. So here P containing 6 electrons, here P containing 5 electrons, which is more stable? np6 is more stable than np5 due to the reason fully filled structure orbital. Whenever fully filled structure will be there, this is more stable. When it is more stable, it is having more IP. So regarding to electronic configuration, we can easily identify which configuration is having more ionization potential according to Hund's rule. Have you understood, students? So in the first case, ns2 np1, ns2 is more ionization potential value, and the second case np3 np4, np3 is more ionization potential. In the third case np6 and np5, np6 is more stable. How can I explain all these examples? By basing on the Hund's rule, half filled structures and full filled structures are more stable, they are having more ionization potential. After that, for your sake, I take here one example. That example is nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen and oxygen. So nitrogen atomic number how much? 7. Oxygen atomic number how much? 8. Whenever atomic number will be there 7, atomic number how much is present in it? The same number of electrons are there, 7 electrons. Atomic number 8 will be there, that's why 8 electrons. According to Euler's energy level diagram, you have to write that electronic configurations what it is. For nitrogen, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Regarding to oxygen, 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So here what will be there? According to nitrogen, what will be there? 2p will be there, 2p3. What will be there here? 2p3. According to oxygen, what will be there? 2p4. 2p3, 2p3. Another one, what will be there? 2p4. So p containing here how many electrons? P containing 3 electrons in the case of nitrogen. This is oxygen. P containing how many electrons here? 4 electrons. So p3, p4. What I am saying that either P containing 3 electrons more stable or P containing 6 electrons is more stable, because P half filled structure is 3 electrons, P full filled structure is 6 electrons. So half filled orbitals and full filled orbitals are more stable. Due to that reason, compare with 2p4, 2p3 is more stable because it is half filled structure. Half filled structure. Half filled structure. Whenever half filled structure will be there, this is more stable. 2p3 is more stable. Whenever more stable will be there, this is having more ionization potential. So nitrogen in their valency shell, it contains half filled structure 2p3. So whenever it containing half filled structure, it is more stable structure. Whenever more stable, ionization energy is more. So compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more ionization potential values due to the reason stability of half filled structures. Half filled structure, or another case I will take that one, fully filled structure example, then you can easily understand this concept. Okay, half filled structures and full filled structures are more stable, that's why they are more ionization potential. Generally noble gases, have you take that one, they are having fully filled structure, because in the noble gases NS2NP6, that means S subshell is completely filled, P subshell is completely filled. So whenever completely filled structures will be there, completely filled orbitals will be there, they are having more ionization potential or more ionization energy values. That's why in the periodic table, noble gases ionization potential values are exceptionally very high values are present in it. More ionization potential values are present in the noble gases like neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay, anyhow, you know that one, what it is, half filled structures and full filled structures are more stable, that's why they are having more ionization potential. After that, trends of ionization energy in the periodic table. We know that in the periodic table 7 periods are there, 18 groups are there. Periods means horizontal rows, group means vertical columns. Here what happens, periods means always you have to observe that from left to right. Groups means, periods means always you have to focus down from left to right. Groups means top to bottom. Groups means what it is, vertical columns, that's why vertical columns we can easily write from top to bottom. So in the periods, in from left to right, if you go that, what will happens, ionization energy values are increases. Ionization energy values are increases. Why in the periods from left to right ionization energy values are increases? We know that in the periods from left to right, you should go that one, atomic number is increases. Whenever atomic number is increases, number of protons present inside the nucleus is increases. Number of protons whenever inside the nucleus is increases, effective nuclear charge is increases. Effective nuclear charge increases, atomic radius decreases. Atomic radius decreases, we know that atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy, that's why ionization energy is increases. I hope that you are very clear. From left to right in the periods, effective nuclear charge is increases. Effective nuclear charge and radius both are inversely proportional with each other. So whenever attraction is more on the outermost electron, distance decreases. Distance decreases, atomic radius decreases. So effective nuclear charge increases means we can how can you understand that? Net attraction on the outermost electron is increases. When the net attraction on the outermost electron is increases, distance decreases. So whenever distance decreases, what will happen here? Radius decreases. So whenever radius decreases, ionization energy increases. Due to the reason radius and ionization energy both are inversely proportional with each other, I had already explained in the previous slide. So from left to right in the periods, radius is decreases, so ionization energy is obviously increases. So in the periods from left to right, if you go that, ionization energy is increases. This is general trend, but some exceptions are there. In the atomic radius also I have explained the exceptions. In the case of gallium and aluminium, in the case of 3D, 4D, 5D series, here also some exceptions are there. But now what I am going to explain that, here general trend I am saying. What is the general trend? In the periods from left to right, if you go that, what will happen? Ionization energy values are increases. Due to the reason, in the periods from left to right, you should go that effective nuclear charge is increases, that's why radius decreases. So whenever radius decreases, ionization energy is increases. So in the periods left to right, ionization energy is increases. Whenever in the periods ionization energy is increases, in the groups what will happen? Opposite phenomena. From top to bottom in the groups, ionization energy values are decreases. From top to bottom, along the group, ionization energy values are decreases. First one in the periods, have a look at that. If you take in the second period, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, in that second period I have taken here three elements: boron, carbon, nitrogen. So boron atomic number how much? 5. Carbon atomic number 6. Nitrogen atomic number 7. I had already told you periods from left to right, ionization energy values is increases. In the periods from left to right, ionization energy values are increases. So compare with boron, which is more ionization energy? Carbon. Compare with carbon, nitrogen is more energy. I had explained this. What is? Due to the reason in the periods from left to right, atomic number is increases, so effective nuclear charge is increases. Whenever effective nuclear charge increases, radius decreases. So obviously radius decreases, ionization energy is increases, because radius and ionization energy both are inversely proportional with each other. So what is the ionization energy order? This is the general trend. In the periods what will happen? From left to right, ionization energy values are increases. Due to the reason atomic radius decreases, so ionization energy values are increases. So effective nuclear charge is more, so net attraction on the outermost electron is more, so distance is decreases. Whenever distance decreases, radius decreases. Radius means atomic radius decreases, so atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy. So atomic radius whenever decreases, ionization energy is increases. This is the general trend in the periodic table with respect to ionization energy values. Now I am going to explain about in a group what will happen. What I am saying that one, in a group means always you have to focus on top to bottom. Ionization energy values are, what will happen here? In the periods increases, obviously in the groups from top to bottom, ionization energy values are decreases. So from top to bottom what will happen? Ionization energy values are decreases. Why it is decreases? I will tell you. From top to bottom, if you take that along the group, what will happen? If you take in the first A group, what it is? What the elements are there? Alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium. Lithium in their valential electronic configuration 2s1, sodium 3s1, potassium 4s1. That means orbit number changes: second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit. So whenever orbit number increases, what will be increases? Distance is increases. Distance increases, radius is increases. Whenever atomic radius is increases, we know that atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy. So atomic radius increases, ionization energy is decreases. So from top to bottom along the group, ionization energy values are decreases. So lithium, sodium, potassium, from top to bottom along the group, ionization energy values are decreases. Due to the reason whenever you should go from top to bottom along the group, orbit number is increases. Lithium is present in second orbit, sodium is present in third orbit, potassium is present in fourth orbit, rubidium is present in fifth orbit, cesium is present in sixth orbit, as well as lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium is having seventh orbit. 2s1, 3s1, 4s1, 5s1, 6s1, 7s1, like that. So orbit numbers are increases. Am I correct or not? So whenever orbit number increases, distance increases. Distance increases, atomic radius increases. Atomic radius is inversely proportional to ionization energy. We know that. That's why ionization energy decreases. So from top to bottom along the group, ultimately what the result is? Ionization energy is decreases. So due to the reason, simple reason, radius increases, ionization energy decreases. Why the radius is increases? Orbit number increases. So orbit number increases, radius increases, ionization energy decreases. So what will happen ultimately here? From top to bottom along the group, ionization energy values are decreases. So lithium is having more ionization potential than that of sodium and potassium. Compare with sodium and potassium, lithium is having more ionization potential. Due to the reason from top to bottom along the group, ionization energy values are decreases. Due to the reason atomic radius is more. Whenever atomic radius is more, ionization energy is less. This phenomena we observed in where it is? In groups. If you take that one, That is general trend. Now we are going to enter into which one? Exceptions of ionization energy or exceptions of ionization potential. If you take here, in the general trend we expect that what it is? Second period elements, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. This is the second period. What I said that in the periods from left to right, moving from left to right, what happens? Ionization energy values are increases. Compare with lithium, beryllium is more IP. Compare with beryllium, boron more IP. After that, carbon more IP, nitrogen more IP, oxygen more IP, fluorine is having more IP. This is the general trend. But here, what we are discussing here, exceptions. Something is different. Some concept is involved here. Some changes occurs here. Generally, we expected that compare with beryllium, boron is having compare with beryllium, we expect that boron is having more ionization potential. But experimental evidence, compare with boron, beryllium is having more ionization potential. Why it is beryllium is having more ionization potential? Have a look at that. Have a look at that here. Okay, have a look at that. Lithium electronic configuration, what is 1s2 2s2, because beryllium atomic number 4, whenever atomic number 4 electronic configuration is 1s2 2s2, in their valence shell what will be there? 2s2 configuration will be there. Boron, what it is? 2s2 2p1 in their valence shell. I have taken here which configurations? Valence shell electronic configuration. Boron atomic number 5, that's why 1s2 2s2 2p1. So valence shell is 2, that's why the electronic configuration what is? 2s2 2p1. Here S is fully filled because S containing 2 electrons are more stable. Yes, S containing 1 electron is more stable. Due to the reason, according to Hund's rule, half filled structures or full filled structures are more stable. That's why S containing 1 orbital is more stable. S containing 1 electron is more stable. S containing 2 electrons are more stable. So here S containing 2 electrons. 2 electron means S orbital is fully filled structure. But in the case of boron, 2p1 will be there. I made it very clear. P containing what is? Either 3 electrons are present in it in their valence shell in this orbital, or P containing 6 electrons is more stable. In the remaining cases that is unstable. So here P, how many electrons are there? Only 1 electron will be there. How many electrons are there? That is more stable. Either P contains 3 electrons or P contains 6 electrons. But P here 1 electron will be there. So it is what it is? This is neither half filled or nor full filled. So this is unstable case. But in the case of S2, 2s2, S orbital is completely filled. That means fully filled structure. So fully filled structure is more stable. When it is more stable, it is having more IP. It is having more IP. That's why compare with beryllium and boron, which is more ionization potential. Beryllium is more ionization potential. But in the general trend, what it is? Compare with beryllium, which is more ionization energy. Boron, because from left to right along the period, ionization potentials values are increases. So we expected that beryllium, compare with beryllium, boron is more ionization potential. But experimental evidence what is? Compare with boron, beryllium is having more ionization potential. How can I explain this? How can I explain this? Compare with boron, beryllium is more stable due to the reason beryllium in their valence shell, s orbital is fully filled. Whenever fully filled structure will be there, this is more stable. So when it is more stable, that is having more IP. So compare with boron, which is more stable, beryllium is more stable. Now if you take nitrogen and oxygen, what is nitrogen? 1s2, 2s2, 2p3 in their valence shell last orbital 2p3. In oxygen atomic number 8, 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Last orbital is 2p4. Here P containing, in the case of nitrogen, how many electrons? 3. In the case of oxygen, P containing 4 electrons. So P maybe 3 electrons are there more stable. P 6 electrons are there more stable. Due to the reason P containing 3 electrons, that is half filled structure. Am I correct or not? P containing 6 electrons also more stable, because whenever p is having 6 electrons, it is fully filled structure. Generally half filled structure and full filled structures are influencing the ionization potential values. That's why I am saying half filled and full filled structures are more stable. Whenever more stability will be there, they will have more ionization potential. So here nitrogen and oxygen, if you take that one, in this case nitrogen in their valential electronic configuration 2p3, 1s2 2s2 2p3, oxygen 1s2 2s2 2p4. This is having 2p4 orbital with respect to oxygen. With respect to nitrogen 2p3. So p3 p4, we know that which is more stable. Obviously p3 is more stable due to the reason of filled structure. So compare with nitrogen and oxygen, which is more stable? Nitrogen is more stable. That's why that is having more ionization potential values. Why the nitrogen is more stable? How can you say this answer? Yes, in their nitrogen, in their valence shell, p is having half filled structure, so more stable. Whenever more stable will be there, that is more ionization potential. And if you take that one, fluorine and neon, generally fluorine and neon, if you take fluorine in their valence shell 2p5 will be there. Neon what will be there? 2p6, because fluorine atomic number 9, neon atomic number 10, 1s2 2s2. In the case of fluorine, what is electronic configuration? 1s2 2s2 2p5. In the case of neon electronic configuration, what is? 1s2 2s2 2p6. Last orbital what is? 2p6 in the case of neon. In the case of fluorine, last orbital electronic configuration p5. Here fluorine containing in their p subshell 5 electrons. In the case of neon, in the p subshell containing how many electrons? 6. Whenever p6 electrons is there, that is fully filled structure. Whenever fully filled structure will be there, that is more stable. When it is more stable, that is having more ionization potential. That's why I will look at that. Here half filled structures and full filled structures are more stable. So whenever more stable structures, they are having more ionization energy. So at last what we are conclude that compare with boron, beryllium is having more ionization energy due to the reason here s orbital is fully filled. S orbital is fully filled structure. Whenever fully filled structure, that is more stable. Whenever more stable, that is having more ionization potential values. I hope that you are very clear. After that, nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen in their valence shell what will be there? 2p3, because 1s2 2s2 2p3. Last orbital what is? In the case of nitrogen 2p3. That's why I have written like this. Oxygen atomic number 8, what is? Nitrogen atomic number 7, we know that. That's why I have not written like that. Oxygen how much? 8. 1s2 2s2 2p4. That's why oxygen in their valence shell what will be there? 2p4. That's why oxygen 2p4, nitrogen is 2p3. P containing either 3 electrons or P containing 6 electrons, then only more stable. Why it is more stable? Half filled and full filled structures are more stable. Whenever it is more stable, it is having more ionization potential. So here in the case of nitrogen 2p3 will be there. In the case of oxygen 2p4 will be there. Which is half filled structure? Yes, your guessing is correct. 2p3, P containing 3 electrons. That's why this is half filled structure. Half filled structures are generally more stable, so it is having more ionization potential. That's why compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more ionization potential. But in the general trend, we expected that compare with nitrogen, oxygen is more stable. That's why more ionization potential. But experimental evidence what is? Compare with oxygen, nitrogen is more stable. Why it is more stable? It is having half filled structure. Half filled structures are having more stable, so more ionization potential is present in the nitrogen. So this is general trend. Compare with lithium, beryllium is more IP. Compare with beryllium, boron is more IP. Compare with boron, carbon is more IP. Compare with carbon, nitrogen is more IP. Compare with nitrogen, oxygen is more IP. But this is what is theoretically. But experimental evidence what is? Experimental evidence is compare with boron, beryllium is more ionization potential. That's why this is exception. Compare with boron, beryllium is more ionization potential. As well as we expect that compare with nitrogen, oxygen is more ionization potential. We expect that. That is general trend. But experimental evidence what is? Compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more ionization potential. So nitrogen is having more ionization potential, oxygen is less ionization potential. Compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more ionization potential. Neon is obviously, noble gases are having more ionization potential values in entire periodic table. This is the correct trend. Which one? This is the second one, is the correct trend, the correct order of ionization potential values. Here you must be remember what it is. Compare with boron, beryllium is having more IP. Compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more ionization potential values. So if you take third period like this, in the third period what the elements are there? Sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. Second period elements what is? Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Third period elements are sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. So this is general trend. First one is general trend. This is first one. General trend what is? In the periods from left to right you should go that one. Radius is decreases, so ionization potential values are increases. So compare with sodium, magnesium is having more IP. Compare with magnesium, aluminum is having more IP. Compare with aluminum, silicon is more IP, like that. So compare with phosphorus, which is more IP here. Sulfur is more IP. Compare with sulfur, chlorine is more IP. Compare with chlorine, argon is more IP. But exception is there. What is? We expected that compare with magnesium, aluminum is more IP. But experimental evidence what is? This is expected. But experimental evidence, compare with aluminum, magnesium is having more ionization potential. So magnesium is having more ionization potential than that of aluminum. Why it is having more ionization potential, magnesium? Why it is exceptional case? Just we will discuss here. Magnesium atomic number 12 in their valential configuration is 3s2. Valential electronic configuration what is? 3s2. Aluminum is what will be there? 13, 3s2. Valential electronic configuration, here I will write that one directly, 3s2, 3p1. So here p containing how many electrons? Here p containing 1 electron. Here s containing 2 electrons. We know that either p containing 3 electrons, p containing 6 electrons, more stable due to half filled and full filled structure, more stable. That's why this is having more IP whenever either p containing either 3 or 6. But in the case of s, either 1 electron is more stable, half filled. Either s containing 2 electrons is more stable. So s containing either s 1 electron or 2 electrons, it is more stable structures. That's why that is more IP. So now you have to observe here. Here magnesium 3s2, s containing how many electrons? 2 electrons. Aluminum 3p1, not it doesn't containing p3 or p4, neither p3 nor p4. That means p containing 1 electron. Whenever p containing p1, p2, p4, p5, that is unstable structure. But in the case of magnesium 3s2, s is completely filled. Whenever s is completely filled, that is more stable, so more ionization potential. So compare with aluminum, which is more ionization energy? Magnesium is having more ionization energy because in their valence shell s orbital is completely filled, fully filled. That's why more stable structures, it is having more ionization potential values. As well as the same trend we can observe in phosphorus and sulfur. Phosphorus atomic number how much? Phosphorus atomic number 15. Sulfur atomic number 16. So phosphorus in the electronic configuration what is? 3s2, 3p4 in their valence shell. In the case of sulfur electronic configuration, 3s2, 3p4. In the case of phosphorus electronic configuration what is? 3s2, 3p3. 3s2, 3p3. Observe that what happens here. This is phosphorus containing p3. Sulfur containing 3p4. That means in the phosphorus p3 will be there. Sulfur, phosphorus containing p3, sulfur containing p4. So this is off filled structure. Sulfur P4 will be there, that is not off filled, that is not full filled, that is unstable structure. So P3 whenever will be there, P is having off filled, that is more stable, more ionization potential. That's why compare with phosphorus and sulfur, which is more ionization potential? Phosphorus is more ionization potential because in their valence shell it is half filled structure with respect to p orbital. Whenever it is having half filled structure, it is having more stable. Whenever more stable, more ionization potential. So we expected that sulfur is having more ionization potential than phosphorus, but experimental evidence what it is, compare with sulfur, phosphorus is having more ionization potential. Don't forget that. It is purely depends upon the electronic configurations, electronic structures. Without knowing these structures, we can't sustain in this ionization potential problems. We can't get good score in this topic whenever if you have not understand this concept. So why the P is having more stable in their valence shell 3p3. So it is having half filled structure. Phosphorus is having half filled structure. Whenever half filled structure will be there, that is more stable. When it is having more stable, it is more ionization potential. Okay, I made it very clear this concept to you. So after that we will discuss about in a period ionization energy of noble gases is exceptionally very high. We expect that it is high, but experimentally observed that it is exceptionally very high values. Generally metals are having low ionization potentials, non-metals are having high ionization potentials. D block elements or transition elements are having the ionization potential values are midway between metals and non-metals. For suppose metals are having 250 electron volts, because ionization potential values, what are the units of ionization potential or ionization energy? Either electron volt or kilojoule per mole or kilocalorie per mole. Whenever you should take metal, it is having low IP. Whenever you should take non-metal, it is having high IP, 600, for suppose 600 electron volt. So transition elements or D block elements or transition metals, IP values are midway between metal and non-metal. For suppose this is approximately I have written like that 400 electron volt. That means what we have to understand by using this example, how can you understand this? Metals are having low ionization potential, non-metals are having high ionization potential. Transition metals or D block elements ionization potential values are midway between metals and non-metals. Neon is the non-metal as well as noble gas. Non-metal as well as noble gas, because gases are always non-metals, we know that. As well as that is noble, that is noble gas. Generally noble gases ionization potential values are very high than that of non-metals. Okay, here fluorine is non-metal. Fluorine is what it is? Non-metal. Neon also non-metal, but it is noble gas. So that's why noble gases values are exceptionally very very high. For suppose fluorine and neon, it is having, non-metals are having more ionization potential. For suppose this is I take here 700 electron volts, but neon if you take that one, it is having nearly 4000 electron volt. That means ionization energy values are very very high, 4 electron volts. Due to the reason noble gases ionization potential values are exceptionally very high compared with non-metals, transition metals as well as metals. But you don't forget that metals are having low ionization potential, non-metals are having high ionization potential, transition elements are having the ionization potential values midway between the metal and non-metal. But in the case of noble gases, IP values are exceptionally very very high. So generally noble gases, what will happens, they are having highly stable. These are highly stable, that's why they are called noble gases. Which one? Neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So their reactivity is almost zero. Reactivity whenever less, stability is more, because stability and reactivity both are inversely proportional with each other. Reactivity is more, stability is less. reactivity is less, stability is more. So these gases are highly stable because they satisfies which rule? NS2 NP6 noble gases, in their valence shell how many electrons are there? Here 2 plus 6, how many electrons? 8 electrons. Whenever 8 electrons are there, it satisfies octet rule. Octet rule exhibit elements are more stable. Octet rule exhibit elements are highly stable. Whenever highly stable will be there, they are more ionization potential, and these elements are noble gases are also called inert gases because those elements chemically inactive, does not react with any element. So these elements whenever does not react with any element or any compound, reactivity is 0. Reactivity is 0 means reactivity decreases, so stability is increases, because reactivity and stability both are inversely proportional with each other. Reactivity and stability both are inversely proportional with each other. So whenever reactivity is decreases, stability is increases. Why the noble gases are having more stable? It satisfies octet rule. What is octet rule? The tendency of an atom of an element to have 8 electrons in their valence shell, it must be satisfies octet rule. Which elements satisfy octet rule? Those elements are more stable. Which are having more stable? Their reactivity is less. When the reactivity is less, stability is more. When the stability is more, IP is more. But in the case of noble gases, IP values are exceptionally very high. So this is another exception, second exception we observed it in the periods. So in the periods from left to right, have a look at that. In the second period, from left to right, if you go that, what will happen? Atomic radius is decreases, so IP is increases. But here some exceptions are there. Compare with boron, beryllium is having more IP. Compare with oxygen, nitrogen is having more IP. In the first case I have explained briefly about this. But in the case of from left to right along the period, if you move like that, compare with fluorine, neon is having obviously more ionization potential, but this ionization potential values are exceptionally very high. For suppose this is 400 electron volts. For your sake I have taken like this. This is 4000 electron volts. That much of value is more compared with fluorine. Why it is very more? Due to the reason reactivity is almost 0, so stability is very high, so ionization potential also very very high in the case of noble gases in a period. So students, I hope that you are very clear in these concept regarding to factors influencing on ionization potential values, as well as which exceptions are present in IP values. Tomorrow we will have to discuss about remaining exceptions, what will be there in the case of ionization potential. So thank you for bearing me. Today's session is over. Next session I will explain that what it is remaining exceptions, what will be present in the IP values. Okay students, bye.